Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. Yesterday and the day before I put the inner sill pieces in. So they're in. So I need to now advance the job and take care of one of the repairs that need doing inside. There's 3 repairs needed here. That one, this one, and one that's you can't see from above but it's under there. Oh, and there's another job which is to make the depression for the sill mounting bolt, which is down there on the inner sill. But what I thought I'd do today is cut this piece out, get back to original metal, you know, good, bad or indifferent, and then repair it. Get one of them out the way. I'll start working on that and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Okay, not very much later. I've cut that away and there was a hole in this piece here, so I've cut that away. And the idea is that I'll let a little piece of metal in, coming up with a flange, and then I'll weld along here, you know, to weld that piece of metal in. Because I think I can get down in there and weld that. You have to think about where you can get access to. To be honest, it'd be better if the flange went that way for me. Yeah, I wonder if I could do that. Then put some plug welds there, because I can get in better to weld it, you see. I'll have to have a think about it. Anyway, that's the basic thing. It's cut away. There's the longitudinal box section there, which looks okay on the inside. This piece wasn't even attached. This piece wasn't even attached at all the way to about there. That was the first attachment point. That's the quality of welding that used to, you know, be done back in the day. Yeah, okay, leave it with me then and I'll bring you back when I've moved the job along a little bit. Hello, I've just cut a little piece there. I've put the flange that way around because it gives me the advantage of being able to put a plug weld through there and there, and then I can weld along the bottom and you know, weld along the edge, hopefully, without having the flange in the way. So, and the easiest way to hold that in place is just use that spanner there to lever it up and out against the edge. Okay, I'll get that plugged in and see if I can get it welded on. Okay, back in a bit. Right, it didn't take very long, but I've welded that. Yeah, not too bad, you know, considering the state of this metal. I find it best to put some tacks on and then just start a bead and keep the bead going, because the bead keeps going better than the start. So if you can limit the number of starts, you get a better bead. So this was done all the way along in one go, and up there and then up there. So I'm going to grind it now and smooth it out, because I can get better access now with this piece out the way than I will be able to after this piece is in place. I plug welded it at the top like that. I think that's a good way of doing it. Okay, the flange is pointing the wrong way, but you know, hey, this is a repair. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, that's all right. Every job, just break it down into the smallest piece and tackle this. Give the smallest piece of the job a lot of thought and then get on and do it. That's what I'm finding is probably the best way to approach these things. Okay, righto. Back in a bit then. Hello, right, here's my patch panel. It's drilled for plug welds there. Drilled for plug welds there. I've put a bit of paint on in there, tried to squirt it in. I wanted to put this piece underneath these pieces, but I don't think I can do that. I can't juggle the piece in. Okay, leave it with me and I will have a go at welding it in. Back in a bit. Hello, look, you see this scene of destruction? That means I've been working. And there's my panel in place. 5 plug welds, 5 plug welds, 2 plug welds, 1 plug weld, 100% welded. I ended up with this on top of this because I couldn't get this underneath, this on top, and that underneath. Still a little bit warm. I had a few gaps here which I've had to fill. I used welding wire to fill it in, and I've had to chase my tail a little bit on some cuts that I did, but it is a solid repair. The only thing we haven't got is the flange. Yeah, it does look a bit funny, doesn't it? Because it looks like a piece of rectangular tubing. And you can see there's very little overlap. You can see the weld is close to the edge. There shouldn't be any sort of big problem with, you know, creeping, you know, moisture and stuff. I might be able to put a bit of seam sealer in this area here. Okay, anyway, that's done. Everything's pretty sturdy. Couple of hours, 2.5 hours work. That's okay, isn't it? As I keep saying, it's another one off the list. So that's one more hole. There isn't a hole anymore. Okay, that'll do for now. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Cheers then, bye. Polski Fiat. Don't see those every day. The chap just said it was about 18 months old when he bought it, so yeah, a very rare sight. Just picked some hammers and dollies up from a friend of mine. These were his brothers, and he allowed me to buy these off him at a very reasonable price. So that's very good, isn't it? There's a thing there for putting, I think it's a tipping jenny or something like that. So that'd be interesting, won't it, to see what that does. Okay, look at that. Nice little haul, isn't it? Okay, catch you on the next one. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. I'm working on this area of the car and I'm going to do a repair, and I'm going to show it from start to finish because I think it's a good way of doing it, and it doesn't involve any welding from underneath. Well, it doesn't for me because I've got a spot welder, but it might for you. But you can at least do plug welds. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. If you look at the floor here, it's perfect. Nothing wrong with it at all. Nothing at all wrong with that floor. Which seems a shame because the first thing I'm going to do is launch a grinder into it. If you look here, you can see this shape. This is where the longitudinal member runs underneath. The longitudinal member runs straight on this side. You can see, you can't see, but I can feel evidence of spot welds there. And it comes up to here, and there's a box section running here out to there. Okay, so I'll just show you those from underneath. Here's my longitudinal member running forward. Here's a box section running across, and the problem is that the end isn't really much good. Okay, So what I'm going to do is replace the end of this, splice in a piece, and then make good. It's going to have flanges on the end which will weld onto this, but I'm going to do all the work from above using some of the ideas and techniques that I've picked up, you know, while doing these jobs. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go above, I'm going to cut into this from above at an angle, about 45 degrees like that, with my grinder. I'm going to come underneath and then I'm going to look to see where I've cut in and then cut through at 45 degrees, you know, the same angle. I'm then going to cut the floor out above a bit further back and a bit further over like that to make a hole in the floor so that I can weld a piece in from above. I can spot weld this here and then put the floor piece in on the top. Should be nice and simple and much easier than trying to work from underneath here. You learn little life lessons, don't you? And this is one of the things I've learned. Don't try welding from underneath if you can work out a way to do it from above. Okay, I'll bring you back in a little bit. It would have been a good idea to have cut this out before I put this in. So I could have cut along there nice and easy. But you know, every job you do, you're kind of on a learning curve, aren't you? Alright, let me see if I can get that cut out. So what you can see down there, down at the bottom there, is the bottom of the box section, you know, which looks okay. You can see two walls coming up. Let me get rid of this other light, hang on. You can see the bottom of the box section. You can see that wall there and that wall there, and everything around them is in good condition. You can see two flanges here. I went a bit mad there. This one's not too bad. So, right. So now I need a little box section piece, top hat section coming out, flanges on the end and flanges on the top. Nice and simple. Easy access, not working underneath the car. Okay? I'm going to take a couple of measurements and go and bend something up. And I flipped it on its side, and then I used that piece with a little piece of metal there to clamp this piece down. But obviously you can't clamp on the top. And I've just hammered that one down. So I'll flip it over now and do the other side. But obviously I've used that piece on the bottom to hold it up off the thing because of this flange here. You just have to use your, use your common sense and try and think of a way of getting the bit that you want where you want it. Okay, back in a bit. Okay, I might be a little bit high on these flanges, tiny bit. I'm going to go underneath and mark this so I can trim it down so there's only a small overlap. some marks round. So I'm going to trim it off very close to that. So there's only a very small overlap. I can't do butt welds in this situation. Just got to go for a very small overlap. Okay, I'll go and trim that and then I'll bring you back. I've trimmed that off. I think I'll just run the crocky sander. I think I'll just run the belt sander down this inside of here. I'm going to go in there and sand that as well. This is in the way a little bit, this bar, but you know, I don't want to take it off till I've done all the welding. It's not bad actually, to be honest. Might have gone a bit short with that. Okay, doesn't matter. Be more like a butt weld at the bottom then, which you know won't be a bad thing. Okay, I think I've not left enough on. Well, there's enough on, but it's more of a butt rather than a lap. So I'll try and get a tack down there now. But it's all looking pretty good, to be honest. It's not looking too bad at all. You know, and you can envisage a simple piece of metal laid over the top. Zip, zip, zip. Plug welds. I want to put a bit of weld through primer where I'm going to spot weld. Take it off. Done across the bottom, and I've done a little bit on that side there, so it's hard for me to see what the camera can see. Okay, let me get a bit more in, a bit more weld. Oops. Okay, there's some underseal or something underneath that's on fire. I broke a file, and I just sharpened it into a sharp point like that and took the teeth off, and it's ever such a good scraper, you know, because it's really good quality metal. Been pretty useful, to be honest. I just squeeze this with a clamp to bring this piece in. Actually, I think it's gone in a bit too far. I just thought I'd try and catch it to there with a bit of weld. You know. That's about all I can do for now. Well, you know, with the welder, I've got to grind that down flush, and grind that down, and then make a filler piece for here, which will need welding in. But what I can do now is come under here and spot weld this area, you know, spot weld that to the inner sill. You know, it's well attached, and there's no struggling under the car on your back, reaching up funny angles, your neck starts aching. It's all done from above, and it's nice and tidy, to be honest. Okay, right, good, nice and solid. I remember, you know, they used to use industrial spot welders where I used to work at the Austin, you know, at Longbridge, and they were bigger than that and water cooled, but even that there is very heavy, and they used to be suspended on like counterbalance reels, that you'd have like a reel of cable that come down from the ceiling, and they used to, you know, so that the guys operating them could move them around without having to lift the weight of them. Yes, I wouldn't fancy using one of those for more than just a, you know, a brief little burst. You can see where I've welded, look. But that's welded. It looks like I missed when I cleaned it up, actually. I needed to come a bit further this way. Never mind. Let's have a look underneath. So what we got? What have we got? Okay, so this is welded to that. This is welded to that. Good penetration, you can see it all sticking through. So that's all right. And just needs a capping piece now. Hopefully relatively simple. But I'd say that's a good repair, you know, and much better than trying to do it from underneath. I just wouldn't even like to consider how to do it, you know. Well, I'd struggle in it, it'd look a mess. And you wouldn't get as good a weld as that. I'm not saying it's fantastic, but it's as good as you're going to get in the circumstances. Okay, I need to get up now, my neck has started aching. Right, I'll do a bit of grinding and then I'll start cutting a piece out to go on the top. Be nice to finish this one in one session. Okay, back in a bit. I just put this heavy object, this railroad anvil, onto this piece of metal to hold it down, and I've been underneath and scribed around it, so hopefully I should have a shape now that I can cut out. There's my two scribe lines. So what I need to do is drill holes inboard of the innermost line for the plug welds. Now, am I cutting off? No, I think I'll just do a very small overlap. I think a very small overlap doesn't really hurt. It's a lot easier than doing you know, a straight butt weld. This doesn't, I'm not going to say it doesn't deserve a butt weld, but you know, it's a repair in the floor. It's not you know, it's not like you're trying to, I didn't do a butt weld that, but no, it's not like you're trying to let a piece in there, you know. Okay, I'll cut this out and just keep trimming it till it fits. Back in a bit. I've cut this piece of metal out. It's got about less than an eighth overlap, and I've tucked it down there, then I pushed it down, and then I've lifted this and pushed it under there. It's on top of here, and it's going to be a butt weld along there, so it's kind of wedged in really. I've painted all inside the box section, and I've drilled these holes. I'm a little bit inboard with that one, so I know when I start that one I've got to start off in that direction. Probably true of all of them actually. I'm a little bit inboard with them all, but that is in place, so I'm going to have a go at welding that. I've got to go in with my little milling cutter to clean the metal up, but because of this piece here I don't think I'm going to be able to do these four, so these four plug welds will have to wait until this bar comes out of the way. It's not a massive problem, you just won't be able to get the full finished job look though. Okay, righto, I'll bring you back. Rather, no, let's put the camera on the thing, hang on. I'm exploring another new technique for plug welds where you do it little bit by little bit, not just go, you know, blasting away hoping it's working. Okay. Okay. Right. You can imagine when that's ground off, I think it'll look okay. I was just trying to prove the point that it's a lot easier to weld from above, you know, with a decent angle of attack, decent conditions, nothing falling on you, you're not burning yourself, got no drips of hot underseal falling on you. That was okay. Okay, right. I can't actually do any more than that other than grind it. So I might as well leave it, because I haven't even ground this one over here, which is just out of camera shot. Oops, that one there. Haven't ground that one there yet either. Sorry, you're kind of upside down. That'll look alright, won't it, with, you know, when it's finished, with a little bit of paint on it. And you've seen it underneath. I'll give you a quick look underneath as well. Okay, probably not the world's tidiest, but you know, not bad for me in my garage with my gear. And you can see the penetration on the welds. I'm going to have to leave that one at that, like that, for now, because I can't do those plug welds with this brace in place. And I don't want to take the brace out until I've repaired that piece there, and maybe even put the sill on. I might just leave the bracing for quite a long time. So yes, another one off the list. I know we can't say it's finished until it's got a coat of red paint on it, but if I've moved further along by the time I release this video, I'll just put a little flash in here of it all finished, but that will be relative to here quite a long time in the future. So once again, thank you very much for joining me in the garage. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye.